Okay, I am going to rewrite the problem so it looks like a quadratic where there's a coefficient on the square term. There's a coefficient on the x term. I'm going to write this a little bit differently. And then there's a constant term. And this constant term has a parameter m and n in it. So that'll be m cubed n cubed equals 0. And let me see if I copied that right. X squared, I got the minus m squared nx. I have the mn squared x. Yep, I'm going to write down the a. That's 1. I'm going to write down the b. That's mn squared minus m squared n. And I'm going to write the c down. And the c is minus m cubed n cubed. Quadratic formula. Opposite, I'm sorry, I do the bottom first. Twice a is 2. The opposite of the b is m squared n minus m n squared plus or minus a nightmarish root. Oh boy, that's going to be a tough one, isn't it? I think I should do that on the side, by the way. Now, what I'm doing, I'm doing what's called a discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac. Well, let me write this down. I got to do it on the side now. So what's the b squared going to be? M n squared minus m squared n squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, and c is m minus m cubed, so I'm going to put a plus sign over here. M cubed n cubed. All right? It looks nightmarish, but let's go through it. What are you going to get? Well, you're going to get m squared n4 plus m4 n squared. Here comes the tough part, the internal thing, right? So it's going to be minus 2 m cubed n cubed. All right? Plus 4m cubed n cubed. Whoa, that's looking like a tough one, doesn't it? But what I notice right away, it's factorable. All right, so it's really m squared n4 plus 2m cubed n cubed plus m4 n2. Let's write this down. What's going to be? M n squared plus m squared n quantity squared. All right? Now, granted, they do something spiffy with it. And what they do with it, I guess they factor out an mn on it. I'll do that for you just so you can see what they have over here. I don't think I would have wanted that, but I'll write that down over here. And this is m n squared plus m squared n quantity squared. But they did something spiffy with this. And I want to point out, just looking at the key, I want to point out I have this, I've got this, I've got this. Whoa, I see an error here. This A's got to go. Let me put a circle in this. You're not going to see it. Must delete. Why is that? A is 1. It's not the big A. Well, anyway, let's do this one over here. What do? They factor out an mn. And what would they get over there? They would get, let's see, they would get n plus m. And that whole thing would be squared. And that's where they're getting that little spiffy term there, which is the mn squared times m plus n. But you know what? I like mine better up there. And your mileage may vary. Let's write this down. And one step at a time. It's going to be m squared n minus mn squared. And this plus or minus helps me a great deal on the root. And what's that going to be? mn squared plus m squared n. All right? I got, some problems over there, but I'm going to do them right now. And so I'm going to do the plus first. And what are you going to get? You can get 2m squared n over 2 if I do the plus. Let's make sure of that. Yep. And if I do the minus, what do I get? I get minus 2m n squared over 2. Let me make sure I'm saying that right. Yeah, that looks pretty good. What does this give us? M squared n. What does this give us? Minus mn squared. Are we getting those answers? Let's take a look. We got it. All right. Got to make a correction, though. That A must go from that. You're not going to see that if you have a future version of the document. If you have this version of the document, you'll see that A, and hopefully you'll know it's an error. And that's something that would be a good thing to mention to me, that if you see something wrong, you would tell me. I just saw something. I'm telling myself. Thank you.